All right, we have seen quite pretty straightforward examples how to work with the grand totals, how to work with the blanks, how to work with design layouts. Now it's time to see how we can format things. Okay, formatting is very important, right? So when you format, I don't really suggest you to format by selecting this. What is format, by the way? There is something called formatting. Let me put it here for timing. Now this I want to format to a dollar. That is currency. I want to change it. I want to make it a percentage. Maybe I want to do it comma separated. Maybe okay. Whether you want to increase the decimals, whether you want to decrease, or you don't want a decimals at all. Okay, these are quite easy option which is available on the home screen right now. But having said that, when you're working for pivot tables, don't try to select the data like this and start changing from here, which is not a good sign. Why? Because your pivot table is not going to be the same shape all the time. Somebody asks you to put all the regions at the top. Let's see if I go to this. Somebody asked to put this east region. Okay, that is a region as a columns. Now the number formatting will change according, because when the pivot was in the style of vertical style, you created some formatting. That formatting will go off. So never try to change some things from by selecting the data like this, because your pivot may grow longer later. So what you can do is, instead of changing the data like this, select any of the cell and right click and go to the usual practices. Will always go for format cells, right? One stop for doing everything: number formatting, alignment, font, border, fill, production. We can do all those things in a one stop go as this format cells. Don't even offer this one. Why? Because there is a specific option available directly for pivot tables, that is clicking on this and go for the number formatting. Once you go for the number formatting, what happens is this is only specific to number formatting option. If you go here in the format cells, what I can see is one stop for all. No, I don't want to go for all. I want to go for only a number formatting, which makes easier to format the numbering system. So what I can do is, now I want to select the number. I want to give how many decimals. Probably I'm not interested in decimals. You want to say 0 there, and you want a comma separator. Just click on this and say okay. Instantly you'll see that every information is being changed accordingly. Okay, there is only 4-digit number which is having comma separator, but that's all changed. This is how quickly we can change the number format. Never try to change from here like selecting. That is quite dangerous, because that will not be applicable for the rest of the fields which you're adding going forward. So always try to change from the number formatting like this and do the changes whatever you want. Currency you want to add, no problem. Which currency you're looking for? Okay, dollar. So let me put 2 decimals here, no problem. Once I say okay, all the formatting will change according to your requirement. So changing formatting is quite easy. The problem with the pivot table all the time, what I noticed is, when we have some pivot table like this, okay, when I'm trying to refresh, what happens? When I try to refresh, what happens is it will change according to its width fit. Okay, so what the best option is, when you're adding again, it will change its height and width. So try to put the format, your desired format. Okay, where you don't have this kind of stuff here, where everything is visible. Try to make everything perfect. When I try to refresh again, it will try to move here and there. I mean, it's trying to move according to its height and width, but I don't want this style to be changed all the time. It should be fixed so that it can look professional pivot table. So what I'll do is I'll try to make this pivot table the size what I require. What you can do is you can stop moving this pivot table here and there whenever you're refreshing, which really annoying. Right click, go to the pivot table options, and there is a nice option available, that is auto fit columns on update. It is already doing that job. So let's not do that job anymore. Uncheck this option, and when say okay, this pivot table will not move anywhere. Now it will be in the same shape, and whenever you refresh calmly, it will refresh without changing its shape, size, height, top, width, left, right. It will not move anywhere. It will be stagnant forever. Even if we had some more things on this, the pivot table size and shape will remain same, and the other objects which you're adding will go further. So that's the beauty of this one. And the second thing is, we always want to add some conditional formatting also. Of course, that's not the part of this topic, but let's try to see how to add a conditional formatting. I want to add something at data bus for this. Okay, let's go for a data bus, some nice color. Okay, I added some blue color here, but what's happening here? It's added. What is a data bars actually mean? Data bus is the more number, it will show a big bar. If it is small number, it will show a small bar. So it's not working perfectly. The thing is, I selected a cell. I'm trying to put the conditional formatting. But hold on, there is an option and a tiny a little box which is showing here. Okay, you can see at the right side. When you click on that, there are three options which is going to come up. Only selected cells, of course, is happening already now on a selected cells. If you say all selected showing sum of cells, say select that option, you'll see all those is applied. The conditional formatting is applied. But what is happening is the conditional formatting is also applied for the grand totals, which I don't want. So what we can do is select the last option. That's it. It is applied only for the required information, not for the totals and grand totals. This is amazing. That means you select one cell and you'll put the conditional formatting, whatever the formatting you want, a data bus or data scales or whatever, but ensure that we are not holding back there only. We are going to select. Let me remove everything. Let me put it again, and to see, it's very fun. I'm adding some color, and I want to click on this option. Decide yourself whether you want for the totals as well or only for a particular portion. So always go for the third option. Second is not good because it's also involving the grand totals, which is not fair. That's not a right way of analyzing the data. When you click on this, you'll see only this portion. So whichever data is, sorry, there is a third option. Okay, whichever bigger number, bigger bar, small number, small bar. That's how quickly graphical presentation I can see on my pivot table without any issues. So further, again, we have the same issue. Like if you want to go for East and I want to see underlying data, click on it. Only East region is available now. I'm just deleting for now. That's it. So this is all about the numbering formatting, how you want to do it, but not by selecting the data. Select any of the cell and do it. Okay. And anytime if you want to make this pivot table not as a sum, which comes by default, the reason is it's only a numeric number, right? It's when it is a numeric number, what happens is basically, just hold on, am I recording? Yeah. So when you are talking about a numeric, always it takes by default a cell sum, but don't worry, you can make it as count or average or max, min, anything. I'm interested in average. Now it has become, the entire information has become an average. Okay, so this how we can work with formattings, which is quite easy. But very important thing which we are going to show you now, that is working with the calculated fields, which you may not use, but if you start using it, you'll see that this will change the entire shape of your pivot tables. That means working with a calculated fields. What I mean by that, let me create one more pivot table here. Let me just, all right. Show value as, so that means, let me make this pivot table small so that we can quickly understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, let me remove the customer, just drag it and leave it somewhere else. That's it. This guy is gone now. Now we have a simple pivot table here. Now what I want to do is, something is really bothering me. It is showing row labels. What is row label means? Actually, I'm expecting this label name should be east, west, north, south. That is what the information I have. So probably the name should be something like region, right? So what I can do is go to this design part. In the report layout, always change to a tabular form. Now, fantastic. Now I can see region as a proper name. Earlier, it was showing row labels, column labels. That's how it is going to show you. Column labels, what I mean is, if I put something like region is already there. So let's go for a customer on the column fields. If you see column labels, row labels making no sense. Of course, that's making me understand, okay, these are the columns, these are the rows, but never go for this. Always go for a tabular format, which will help you to show tabular format. Now you can see it is telling me all these names are nothing but customers. Okay, I understood. All this information is nothing but region. So it's nicely, beautifully formatted, and it is very good. So always go for a tabular format. Or if you want to go one step ahead, what we have seen with the outline method in this, showing all the east in one column, all the customers in one column, and rest of the things followed. So that's again completely up to our requirement, how you want to format things. So try to do as many slice and dices to understand what are the different things we can see. Now let me make it as a normal pivot table. Now I don't want to have so many things here. So I'm removing the customers here. I have only sum of reasons. And I want to add the customer under the region. Fantastic. Now you can see all the information at once. So this is a sum of sales. Okay. I want to drag it down, the sum of sales again. Is it possible? Okay. I got the sum of sales again. Why it is showing twice here? Twice and fourth time. So that means a single object can be dragged as many times as possible. But why? Actually, why you're repeating that same object again and again? Maybe I want to see how many sum of sale happened in one column. Maybe I want to see what is the count of my customers. I want to see average of it. Let's see if it works. Right click, go to the show field list, and for the first one, what I want to do is, for the second one, first one, what I want to do is, let it be some of the sales. Let's go for the second one. Select the second one. I want to see the average of it, so let's go for average. Why not? Okay, it's average now. Now I want to go for the third one, making as count. Why not? So let's go for a count here. Okay, so this is a count of sales. This is the average of sales. This is sum of sales. What else you want? There is a sum. Okay, there is a sum. We have used already sum. We have used count. We have used average. We want to use something like a max. We want to use a min. There's a product. Okay, let's use a max here. So what is happening is, the four fields are the same, but a different computation. What you're doing is, this is sum of sales, but it's not really giving a nice name. How do I change it? No problem. Just go to the value field settings. Boring. This is a very long process. I don't want to do that. Here you can change it. Otherwise, just click on F2 here and make it as sales. Now, what you're going to see is there is an error. Why? Because sales, it is not able to understand, because that column is already existing. So say the trick to work with this kind of thing is, either try to change the name of it, sum of sales, maybe some sales. Okay. Or else, if you want the same kind of cell to be repeated again, the column name, use a space here, the name will be changed instantly. Okay, but however, here I want to make it as a sum of sales. Some sales. This is average sales 2. No, it is simply average sales. This one, not count of sales 3, count sales. This is not max. This is simply max. So that's how instantly you can make each column to be repeated as many times possible to see a different view of your sales or cost of goods or whatever your financial numbers or HR information or finance information, whatever, in a different style within no time. Okay, this is not exactly a show value as, but this is using aggregated functions. Okay, I just try to see how to work with the aggregated functions, but that's not the end. There is one important feature which we always overlook, and we I think most of them hardly try to understand what exactly those calculation works with this amazing formatting. Let's try to create a quickly one more sheet here, because so that I can see show value as. What is show value as? Let's see, show. Okay, show value as. Now I want to remove all those fields not required. Let me remove this average. I want to remove this. I want to remove the class. So what I left with is only the one thing which is really required for me. So let me quickly change the format here, because it looks little odd. I want to go for the currency. I want to have a 2 decimals and dollar symbol and say okay. Now neatly formatted with all the dollar symbols. Now what I want to do is, for this sum of cells, I want to add some other computations which I can bring more insights to my information. So let me put all those functions what is available here, so that we can understand. Okay, this is completely talking about how to show the difference between the columns in a pivot table, or running total, or ranking it, or percentage it, show values as a different options. Now in that line, the very first option what we have is percentage of grand total. Okay, have you ever thought like we can show the percentage of grand total? That means the overall total is 100%. How this 100% is split into different regions? Okay, what east is contributing, how much percentage is contributing? That's what we can see. At the same time, we want to see percentage of column total. At the same time, we want to see percentage of row total. If you understand one, rest of all easy, but we need to understand where, when, how to use for my analysis. That's beauty of this options. Next, we have something called as percentage of. Okay, percentage of. Let's see. Next, we have something called percentage of parent row column. That's it. Next, we have difference from. That is, you want to see difference from one column to another column. What is the basic difference? And you also want to see the same thing, but in the form of, maybe you want to see in the form of percentage. Let's see how it works. This is one more function what is available. Then we have something called running total. Okay, running total. We use a lot of big formulas to do that. Of course, we can do that, but now it's made easy by using the simple option, which I'm going to show in a couple of minutes. So next one, we have the same running total. Probably somebody interested to see in the form of percentage, not in the form of numbers, probably in the form of percentages. And next we'll see what is the ranking. Ranking is really important because I want to rank my employees, who's standing first, who is standing second, and who's standing so on. So if you want to do the ranking, let's see how to do the ranking for each employer, each product, or whatever. Next one, if you want to remove, not remove, there is some other option available. What is it? Index. Yeah, index is one more option which is available in terms of a calculation. And anytime if you want to remove a custom calculation which you have prepared right now, you can remove that. So I'll show you all this in action, not to worry how this will be worked. So remove a custom, what do you call as a calculation. All right, so these are the different things which you are going to see right now. Let me put the same formatting for everyone. Okay, so what we have here is, let me minimize rather. So we have a different from the, when you want to look at your data in a different perspective, like that is showing about the grand total percentage, percentage of column total, percentage of a row total rather, or percentage of uh, mm, what do you call as of or difference from each column. What happened? Okay, when you want to see the percentage of a different format, or if you want to talk about the parent row or a column, or if you want to see the running total, maybe how this is going to possible in the pivot table. Do I need to write any extensive format? That's the question. So let's try to solve each one in a separate pivot table. The very first one I want to see, the first one, as I mentioned there, percentage of grand total. Okay, I want to see the percentage of grand total. So for that, let me not have so many things here. So it doesn't matter even if you have. So let me right click. I want to let's have this sum sales as a sum sales only, no problem. You want to drag it down one more sum of sales. But this sum of sales you don't want to see as a sum of sales, but you want to see as a percentage of grand total. Fantastic. You want to see as a percentage of grand total. Just click on that. No more going here options, because value field settings will help you to add that computation. There is a sum, max, min, count, average, or so on. Now there is a new not a new feature, it's existing since long time, but let's try to use as a new option like show value as. Yes, exactly. Whatever I've written on the Excel sheet, these are the options what is available. Let's try to drill down each and every option here, which will make you expert in analyzing whatever the financial data or whatever the data you have. Now, no calculation at this moment because I have not applied anything. It's a simply sum of sales. Now, what if I select the grand total? Will it change anything? Okay, fantastic. The East is contributing 19.82 percentage for this 100%. Fantastic. Now we have something called Southeast total, which is contributing 17%. So all these regions overall contribution making as 100%. Quickly, I'm able to analyze contributing what portion for this entire growth of the organization, which is a, let's take as an 100%. That 100% is divided into different percentages by the each region. That's a, that's what you call as a grand percentage of grand totals, right? So let me write down here grand total. Okay, let's try to complete finish of everything in a single sheet instead of creating a multiple sheets, not to waste time, much time. Now I want to drag one more time to see what next. Okay, there is something called grand total. Then we have something called next option, show value as a column total. What is a column total, by the way? Let me see. Once I click on this, I'm getting a column total, which is looking like a similar because we don't have a column total here. Let's see. It's also showing 19.82, 98.22. This is coming back as 100%. This is also coming back as 100%. Okay. This is a column total. Grand total is also working the same because your pivot table is like that. So let me just right click and try to add one more cell here to see. This is a percentage of column total. Okay, this is percentage of row total. right? So let me just right click and go for row value now. That is row total. Once you click on row total, what is happening here is it is trying to tell you everything is 100%. Why? Because for the east, who is contributing how much, and overall what is happening, that is 100%. Now if you look at the grand total, which is again coming as an 100%, which is of a row wise. So row wise, each percentage, like if you have a different regions here, let's assume we have a east, west, north, south. At the row level, how much it is contributing? Right now it is showing 100% because we don't have any sub options available. So let me remove that east from there. That is add the region of, let me remove this region from here. Okay. And add, where are you? Region. Region is in the columns. Now, if you look at this, each row level, how much you are contributing, that is row level percentage. If you look at, like, everything is 100% because for each region, contribution of percentage is becoming 100%. That is the row level. And this is a column level and row level. Let me control Z because I want to continue in the same fashion. So this is a row total, this is a column total. Now let me go back to the show field list again, and I want to add one more feature. That is what we have is a row total, and the last one we have something called percentage off. Yeah. For that I need to add again this. Now go to right click and click on show value as percentage off. Now once you click on row, okay, let me cancel this again. Yeah. So once you click on this option, when you are interested for the percentage off, okay, we'll try to understand what is the percentage off. But before that, we want to simply go and see how this percentage off works. Okay. The percentage of it's a custom calculation again. It will let you compare all the amounts to a specific amount. Okay, you have a different amounts and you want to compare that to a specific amount, taking one as a threshold. So when you click on off, it will not just change the things for you, but you need to select the option. Once you click on it, it will ask you, boss, you have two things here. Okay, one is customer and the base field is Flipkart. So always select the option which we have. Right now I have only customer. Now what customer you want to take as a threshold for you, and you want to compare with Amazon, rest of the companies, or you want to compare, take the Facebook as a main source, and you want to compare all other companies how they are performing against the Facebook. So in that case, I'm selecting simply the customer because I have a customer column here, and I'm selecting which one. If you're not interested in any of the one to be compared with, simply select them previous. Once you say previous, what happens? Let's try to see. So when you are trying to compare with the previous one, it was 2000. So which is 100% for now. When this 3000, if you can see it, which is bigger than 2000, so it's saying you are among like 151%. Okay. When you look at this 2000, which is more close, so it's saying like 61 when it is compared previous month. So that is a previous one. So the 151%. So for this 3000, 2000 is when you try to sum up or take the percentage is 67. That's how you can get the percentage off by comparing to any of the threshold. What happens if I try to change this value as field to off? Let me remove that. Okay. Now, instead of saying previous, I want to take anyone as a source for myself. Okay. I want to take Amazon for that matter. Once I say, okay, what happens is your Amazon is 100%. When Facebook is being compared, Facebook is standing out about Amazon, which is of 3000. Now 102. Why it is 102? Because when compared to Amazon, Flipkart is better performing. That is 2121, which is a bigger number. Let's take a smaller number. Swiggy is showing 1883, which is a 90% when is compared to the Amazon. Very, very beautiful feature, guys. When you want to keep somebody, you want to put somebody in a hotspot, like compare taking as a threshold, like one person, maybe one employee, and you want to compare all those employees to that employee at what level he's performing. Percentage of comes very handy to compare this one. So let's try to drag it down one more option. What is available? That is sum again. This time we want to go for, so you can use any of the option here. It's not just a customer what I'm talking. You can just refer what the information is available. Now let's see item type. When I click on the show list, I added already some. Yes. Okay. This time I want to go for percentage of item. Now before that, let's try to understand. In this example, each item which is we have in the sales, okay, will be compared to the sale in the same region as a percentage. Okay, that's the advantage of using a percentage of an item. Okay, let's say percentage of an item. Now, when you say percentage on item and right click, I'm not doing anything actually. Very smart, just clicking on show values and clicking on, by the way, it's not always you'll go for with this way. So we can also go for a value field settings. And when you click on show value as, you have all those same options actually. You can see all those options what we am seeing from the right click option menu. So no matter from where you get this option, this is quite easy. Go for a show value as and select now you are interested for item. Oh, I left somewhere else. Let's go one by one. That is a parent total. Okay, percentage of parent. So that means when you just click on show values and click on this of parents row total, that means once you click on this at the row level, what is the percentage you have total, and each one what is its contribution. That Amazon is just playing a 10%, but if you look at the biggest market which is paying, that is a Facebook, which is standing out 15 as a second place. But if you look at Google, which is on the top, that is a 17 percentage. So parent, I mean, which one is showing amongst the top by taking one as a option. So let's go for the next one. That is a what do we have in the next one? Parent one and difference from. Yeah. Go for the show field list again. Okay. What? Okay. Let me make a little bigger. Okay. The next one again, we want to take the sales here. That's it. Here we want to check the percentage of parent. What you have seen is now you want to see the percentage of row total. We have the same option again, percentage of row total or quadrant total. But let me go for the difference from, which is among the different, right? It's the same, like, but it's a row total is looking at a column total is taking looking at the total one. This is difference from. If you want to find the difference from the customer what we have and what difference you are playing the role by checking any of the market here, also you can go for it previous. Once you say previous, let's see what happens here. This is difference from. Okay, the first one is empty, of course. When you start comparing, what is the difference between the first and second? This is what. If you compare this and this, what is the difference? Yes, I'm standing in the negative or in the positive? And this is comparing with the previous customer and trying to check the difference from the previous. It will not have a row total or grand total. It will try to show you the first one is being empty because that's a primary thing which you are trying to take there. And next, you are trying to compare 3141 minus 2080 is becomes 1061, and next one 2124, which is the third flip card, which is compared with the 3 which is in the negative, that is 1017. That is what the difference from. Okay, now if you want to do the same thing in the percentage form, which we have as a percentage, I'm not taking in the new column which is going out of my monitor now. Let me take percentage from. That's it. So this time it is not let's take the previous one. Always don't target any company here. Once you say okay, you'll see it is in the form of percentage. So the first one is being blank. When the 3000 minus 2000, what is the percentage you are getting? After that, again, Flipkart is compared with the Facebook, then Google is compared with the Flipkart. So it's trying to understand what is the difference from the previous. So that's how the show values works beautifully in these options. So rest all we can understand it's a row running totals. Let's try to take one. Show value and add sales again. Let me add twice. No need to come here again. 2 and 3. All right. So difference from, we have seen the different percentage. That is a two ways. That is looking at the number and looking as a percentage as well. So look at next one. What we have is right click and go to the show value as. Now this time we have a running total. Okay, running total in. What is running total in? That is, we have only customer. If you have multiple columns there, then it will select. So once you select that, it will show you the running total. Running total means what again? Let me hide this for some. I'll hide this so that you can see big picture. Okay. Right now we have something called running total. All right. So first one we have is 2080. That's it. Now when you club this 20803, then you'll end up with a 5221. So when you add this 2 as well, it becomes a 7345. When you add this as well, it will become 10,890. That is a running total, which we know we've been doing with the formulas. No more formulas, guys. Just right click and do the magic. That is running total. And next thing, let's see what is the other options available. Then you can also running total in rows and columns. So you can see as a percentage also, we can see this is a percentage one. Okay, this is a percentage format. Like the first one is 10%. If it's standing, then running total wise, finally, it should reach to a percentage called 100. This 100 contribution, how it's happening, you can see there. This is what you have seen in the values, that is a running total percentage. Okay, the same thing, but in a percentage format. It quite happens like you want to see the same number in percentage at the rate, sometimes number. So this is comes handy, like you can go for both. Again, no magic, no nothing, no formulas being used. And here I want to use the last option, and you can see the rest, that is ranking them smallest to largest. How do I know who is standing out? Okay, if you look at who's on the lowest one, that is Swiggy, which is playing a little contribution, that is one, standing at one. And if you look at the who's playing a very big role, that is eight, which is nothing but your Google. So this is sorted somewhere different orders, like we have ranking smallest to largest and largest to smallest. Let's say largest to smallest. Okay, this is more of your sorting order, which is showing as a biggest to smallest, or something like A to Z or Z to A, right? So that's all about the percentage showing value as, which is a very, very great feature what we have by just right clicking and changing things. Now let's begin to the next one. More interesting, I'm sure, pretty sure most of them wants to know how this really works. That is working with the groups. Oh, working with groups. Okay, working with groups is quite interesting topic actually, because as I said, my data doesn't have year separately, my data doesn't have months separately, my data doesn't have numbers separately. If I want to do a kind of analysis, like what is happening quarter wise, what is happening year wise, what is happening month wise, I have no clue. I need to do a lot of efforts on this, but let's try to clarify this in a simple mode. Now for that, what I need is I need a pivot table, more copy, then create a copy here itself. Then I want to give a name to it, saying that grouping. Guys, this is very important, and you love to use this forever. So once I go to the pivot table, I'll say Alt NV, then use the existing sheet. I'm not interested in the new sheet. Click on here and say okay. So far, I was escaping working with the dates, which plays a very important role, guys. Whenever you create any data set, any report, people love to see month wise, day wise, week wise, whatever the stuff they want to see. Yeah. But I was trying to escape to show you that topic, because that is something once you are little mature to see, once you understood how to work with the pivot tables and do some formatting things, this is a time to see how to work with the dates, because I don't know how to work with the dates. Let's see if I just add into the rows. Excellent, I got all the dates. But this is a style what you want to show in your real-time scenario. I want a month wise. I need to write extensive formulas. Don't worry. Just what you can do is, okay, let me add the sales as well so that it will make our life easy. I'll add the sales here, which is the number formatting. Let me go, and I know the trick now. Go to the number formatting, go to the number, not number, maybe currency. I want to go for 2 decimals. That's it. The entire structure is changed. Now it's looking really weird. Like the date wise, it's showing very good for me. I want to add the region as well. I want to make it more complicated. Let me say region here. Okay, otherwise region under this. Oh, it's looking really mess up, right? So let me not add region for now, because I want to do some kind of data validation with my data. If I look at this data as a layman person, I can understand, okay, I have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever. We have it different years, but it's really confusing for someone to understand how many years we have, how many months we have in each year. Not well as per the data. And if I want to see by quarter wise, I don't have any clue. But just don't blink your eye to see this amazing trick, how to make this entire into a year wise. Right click, go to the option called group, and click on this years, guys. That's it. Once you click on this years, you'll see this amazing trick. Everything has converted to a years now. That means I don't want to understand by the data in which year what happened. Just look at the data now. Everything is changed. For 2018, this is the entire sales. 2019, okay, I'm happy with this pivot table. Can you please tell me for each month what happened? No doubt. Right click on this, go to the group, and also select by using the control key month this time. If you look at this screen, actually, I didn't talk about the screen. If you look at this grouping tab or application or the tool which is showing at the top, it's so smart. It will identify what is the first minimum date in your group, in your data, okay, in your data table, and what is the maximum date we have. Now here I'm selecting the options what I need from the existing data, that I want months and in year. Say okay, amazing, I got now 2018, 19, 20 with the respective months. I don't have December. I have December here, okay, I don't have a December in this, so I could able to make out easily what months available in each month. But still my report is not complete. What I want to see in the form of quarter wise. Let's do that. I want to select the quarter as well. Amazing. Now you can see each quarter size. Okay, my pivot table is not in perfect shape actually, so what I can do is quickly go to the design manager. We know the trick now. What you can do, go to the design and go to the layout and go to the outline. Fantastic. Now you can just repeat it if you want, otherwise you can leave it. Okay, now I can see for each year, for each quarter. Do I know how to do the quarter one? Yes, I know by using a formula. Jan, Feb, March comes in the quarter one, and April, May, June comes in the quarter two. I know, but I don't want to do manually. Everything is done now. So right click, show field list. Now right click, go for the grouping to see what is happening in the field list as well. Okay. Now go to this one. I want to see the entire structure only in the quarter wise. I don't have that kind of a column in my table itself, but I would love to see what is happening in the quarter wise. But the problem in this quarter wise is it's showing quarter, but considering all the column years, which is very dangerous, right? It's not the right numbers. So what you can do is just click on this option and go for a grouping and select years as well, which is fantastic because each year quarter wise what is happening in this quarter, what happened in this quarter, what happened. We have four quarters here, and each quarter what is the sales. Now if you want to put the region also, which makes your report beautiful, each quarter by each region in the year what is happening. But again, it's annoying, some of sales, some of, so how do you manage that? Go to the design and go to the layout and go to the tabular format. It will give you a right information. This is all years guys, this is all region guys, so that's all able to understand. If you don't want this subtotal to show repeated again, remove the subtotals. You can just remove it, right? You doesn't require this information, you can remove this subtotal so that a cleaned view you can get it. So that's about the amazing grouping structure you can use with the dates, which plays very important role. Earlier versions we used to struggle how to make this data available instantly, because if you look at my data, data is having very clear note actually 22 October 20, but it's not in the year format, in the month format, in the days format. This is by default in the day format, you can see here. But if you want to change accordingly, you can change the way you want. Just remove the region so that it can show you in a clean way. Okay, now you can see 2018, 19, 20, and quarter wise have the data, right? Now let's begin to the next one, because somebody wants to see sales in a different fashion. So let's try to put the pivot table. Okay, let me add one more sheet here. Grouping. Okay, by the way, this is what we are trying to work here is grouping by dates. All right, that is grouping by dates. Now let's try to talk about grouping by numbers. Interesting. You can also group numbers. Let's see. Okay, so let me accordingly change this entire information. I don't want this year, I don't want this month, I only want sales. So let's play with the sales now. I want to see what is the sales happened between this range to this range. Okay, 0 to 100 sales happened in which region. I don't want to see as a sum. Okay, let's see how this works. I want to have the region here at the column, not the column, maybe in the rows. Yes, in the rows we have this and we have the region here. Now what I want to do is I want to bucketize it. Okay, bucketing means nothing but like you want to see 0 to 1000 what happened, 0 to 2 how many sales happened during this particular thing. So in that case, let me not have the region for now, just to work with the numbers effectively first. Now what I want to do is right click. Amazing. Right click, go to this grouping option. What we have right now, it's not showing up because you are not have the complete, it's only a single value, right? So I need to have some other option here. So let me add rows here. Right now, click on this one, right click, If you look at again, the grouping is missing because you are working with a single entity here. So we have a region here already, and which is trying to show the sum of sales, and you are trying to group, which is not happening. So whenever you want to work with a group, always ensure that it is not summed. Okay, it is, let me put this way. Oops, let me remove everything here. Let me use okay, we are using the sales only, right? Yeah. So the grouping is missing again because it's not identifying that as a single value. You need to have at least multiple values to do that. So for that, what I can do is I need to put, instead of here, put it in the rows. What happens if you put in the rows? Okay, this will allow you to group it the way you want. Okay, so that means if I just group it now, actually before that, let me go to the table. If you look at this sales, okay, or cost or whatever you have, it is not a group. That means it's showing simply straight away 56. But if you want to see something like 0 to 1000 sales happened in which region, 1000 to 2000, what happened in which region we have the sales, if you want to see in that format, because sometimes we require, like, we want to see in the bucketing wise. If you look at this entire data structure, we have 370 whatever 3 million data. But if you want to make it as a single bucketing wise to understand quickly where we are getting really impacted or performing very well, so that means this is called as a, no, sorry guys, I'm working in a different sheet altogether. This is not numbers, this is dates. Okay, that's not a problem. This is dates, and this is my numbers. Okay, so we are talking about now is numbers. Let me quickly change this to numbers so that we can see what's working on. Now, the way you worked with the dates, now it's the time to work with the numbering part. So group it. Very smart. It is trying to identify what is the smallest number in your range, what is the biggest number. Now by plays a very important role here. By means how much variance you want to see. If I say 1000, that means 1000 difference you want to bucketize this, or else you want to put a small number like 100. Once you say okay, amazing, you are going to see all this bucketized between 0 to that number by having that 100 variance between that. Now you add the region, no problem. Okay, now you can see between this to this, what kind of sales happen, I mean, who is contributing, we can see very clearly, or you can put in the columns. You can see now. Now again, you want to put the sale count here rather. Now you can see 43%, 43 of the sales happened between 2 to 102, and this 102 to 202, we have this many sales. So it's quite easy to bucketize. Maybe you can take the example of age. For example, you have employee age column. You want to put all this age, instead of having a multiple thousands of rows, you can make it as a small table saying that 0 to 15, what how many employees are there. Okay, we don't have 0 there, but let's assume like 18 to 30, how many employees, 30 to 40, how many employees. I'm talking about age here. So you want to bucketize all these employees according to age in a smaller table. This is what comes handy. Anytime if you want to uncheck it, nothing but you want to make it a normal data, just click on the ungroup. That's the amazing thing what we have right now for the grouping of numbers. Now let's work it on with the text. Is it possible to make it a group of text? Okay, let's see if it is works with this. Now right click, go here and show list. Remove everything. I don't want anything here. Let's remove. I have sales also. It doesn't require. I'm interested in sales executive. Let's go for this one. These are the sales executive what we have, and this is the total sales what happened in this. Okay. Now the thing is, I don't have any segregation here. My raw data doesn't have who is senior executive, who is a mid-level executive, who is a junior level executive. I don't have any clarification. If I look at by looking at the face of the data, I know Ajay, Anjani, Anutama are high-level, senior-level executives. Arpita, Baburao, Bharat, these people are comes under junior level. I know this fact, but I don't know. I don't have the data such as such. But ideally, what should happen is against your each data, there should be something like a text. Okay, junior, he is okay. He is a senior. I need to have some kind of a data stuff which I don't want to create from my data. It should be there. Ideally, you should have some kind of designation. This guy comes under this designation. This guy comes under this. But I don't have such information here. What I can do now? Am I helpless? Not really. What you can do is, for example, this also works with well with regions, countries. For example, you have some 100 countries. Okay, these countries you want to subdivide by region. Why you're doing that? Actually, you should have in your data. Let's assume you don't have a region, that is Asia, Europe, United States, UK, MENAT, and Latin America. You don't have this kind of content in your data, but you have only countries. When you want to group such kind of data also, it's possible. Let's try to do something. Ajay, I know, Anutama, these guys are basically these guys. Let me remove the sum of sales for now so that we can see accurately what we are trying to do. That is, right click and go to the show field list, remove the sum of sale for now. Sorry. Okay, God. Pivot is pivoting. So customers, I want to put it in, not customers, we are talking about sales, anything for a text matter. So here, what I'm trying to do is I want to put these guys into a proper bucketing. Okay. I know Ajay and Anuttama or Arpita, there are senior level executives in my company, and Babura also. I'm trying to select alternatives so that no confusion. Right click on it and say group. That's it. Amazing. You got a group one. What these people are related to? Senior people or senior executive. Now I know these guys, other people who have, let's try to make it as remove these totals for now. Yeah. Now I know Anjani, I know Bhaskar, these people are junior level. So for that, group it, no problem, and make it as juniors. Okay. Rest of the people are mid-level maybe. So right click and select a group structure, and group is done. Anytime you can make merge groups also, no problem. This is a mid-level. Now see the magic. Now I don't have a sales executive column itself. Let's remove. Now if you see, amazing, that kind of fields are not existing, but sales executive as a separate column is created. Now the first column, sales executive, I'm removing. Now what you left with, sorry, now what you left with is only according to their designation, and you want to see the sales happen. See the amazing thing here. Where is the sales one? Now we want to go for the sales in the value. So that means senior executives, how many sales have done in my company, junior level people, how many 10, and how many mid-level people have done this sales. So I able to draw that conclusion even if I don't have that kind of data set in my uh, I don't have that kind of a data set itself. I have only the names. I don't know who is senior and who is junior, but I can make out from the given data. But if your company doesn't have that kind of data set, you don't have a region column, you don't have particular grouping structure, you can create your own. You can create your own, and you can add all those features what you require. Like you want to see the senior executives in which month they are really worked. Actually, you want to see, go for a rows here and add it. Now, if you see, you got the quarter wise. Guys, again, did I change the quarter? No, by default coming as a quarter because it is using the same previous memory and trying to show up. So, but I'm not interested in, by the way, I'm not interested in quarter, right? So I want to go for a another grouping called maybe months and years. So let's click on that. That's it. Now, senior executives in 2019, in this March, this is the sales. That's how easily we can analyze more information from your given data. Amazing. So you have seen how to group the numbers, how to group the text, how to group by date, which makes your life very, very easy. Now, let's take one more example. As you have seen how to group the things, so let me quickly make this note, otherwise we'll tend to miss out this. Working with dates, working with text, nothing but any text. That's why I'm keeping as a text, not employee name or student name or anything. You can work with the text, working with numbers, and working with dates, which is very, very important. We always struggle to work with dates. Now it become easy to work with the dates. Now let's try to concentrate because I keep walking about. Okay, before that, let's go for and change our own style of pivot table. Okay, because that's something which is not happening. If you look at this, let me take a new one. So working with the formatting setting example. Okay, let me take here. Okay. Change design. Okay, what I mean change design, because I'm not happy with the style what we have here. Let me put in a different style. This one, right click, show field list, and I want to change this customer to columns. Okay, so that I can have this file like this, and whatever you want to add, you can add it. But here my question is how we can change the design, because my company is not accepting the kind of styles what we have in this formatting styles. So what we have is here in the light version we have, okay, we have a mid-level type of a colors which will just highlight the totals and the bottom levels. But if you want to go with the darker brown, which is really annoying for the eyes, it will take a lot of space on your Excel also. But if you want to have your own pivot style, because your company has certain ground rules to be followed for presentation, yes, what you can do is just click on this new design and click on this option and drop down where you go for a new pivot table style. That means you can clear. Now I don't want any format. It looks very plain vanilla. Well, if you go to the new pivot style, what happens is you can start building your own pivot table. Now, how I can create own pivot table style? First row, that is the first column, how you want, how you want the columns to be, report filters to be, how you want the whole table to be, how the report filter should look like. You can just maximize the way you want it. Now you want the grand total to be always formatted with a dark color, let's say not a font color, let's say color as red, okay, and say okay. And now this grand total always show in a red color, and you want the font color to be always white. Let's make it as a white color, okay. Now fantastic, I got, you can also see the preview at the bottom, always grand total will become red color. That's what I wanted. Now if you want the grand total column also, grand total column, what I mean at the right side, you want that also to be always appear as my default cover, because my company wanted only in that style. I cannot use my own style. I need to follow the rules. So I'm putting the white color. I'm filling it with the red color, maybe red, and that's it. Now this is a style what I want to see, and you can also see very nicely the bottom and the right side, which is already filled up. Now you want to see how the row labels, how you want to see. For the row labels, I need to find out where exactly the rows are existing here. So let's go for header row, okay, which is nothing but talking about a header. So header, I always want it to be something like a blue color, and I want the fixed color should be white color maybe, and say okay and okay. Now you can see this is how your pivot table is going to look like. But guys, hold on. I just created my own style. It is not applied. Why? Because you haven't applied it, but it is available in your worksheet now. So this is your custom style. Click on it. That's it. Your new style of pivot table, which is looking really odd now. You can create your own style. How pivot tables should look like. Whenever you create by default, you can make that pivot table option to make by default. Right click and make it as, okay, you can make this as a default. What I mean by a default, so whenever I click on create a pivot table, by default it will create the same style. Okay, let me make it as a set as a default. What happens is, now if I go for the pivot table data, alt nv and say okay, sorry, alt nv, and once you click on pivot table, I haven't started month and year in the rows. Okay, it's already started getting my colors, guys. So years as, not years, customer in the columns, and the year, not years, sales in the row. So I didn't tell like my pivot table to be like this, but I did a smart work. I made that pivot table by default should be available whenever I create something. So that's how you can make your own user defined option for your company. So next one, let's try to see how to add the amazing feature again. Uh, okay, so using slices. Okay, this is one important feature again which we want to have, so that you can create a dashboard kind of a look. Let me remove everything here, and I want to put just maybe month and year in the rows. Okay, I got it. By default again it's showing, but when you say Control Z, your data should go off rows, and I want the style to be the same style. So what I'll do is I'll simply go for the group, and I'll say I don't want all, I want only days. Days in the sense I will get in the normal style. Okay, but anytime if you want to change it, go to the group again, just change to the months, let's say months and years, which will looks good. Yeah. Now this is what the pivot table is available. Now what you want to do is you want to put certain kind of options available, that is using the slices. Slices are really amazing because you want to see each employee how the performance is there, instead of going and filtering out. What I mean to say is going and filtering out, instead what you can do is just don't blink your eye again. Just go select your pivot table first and click on the insert option. There is something called slicer. Slicers are available from 2010, guys. From 2010, the slices are available. In the previous versions, we don't have. So once you click on the slices, what happens is it will throw up a dialog box. It will show you what columns you have already in your table. Now, what I want from this is I want to see customer list. When I click on that, I'll get a one more beautifully designed already by default. This is called slices. Slices means what this slices is going to help me is for the end user, like for a person who is sitting in the top of the management who wants to filter out and see, he will not go this way. Probably you want to create a nice feature like this, which is just see blinkable kind of option available. When you click on a Flipkart, everything is changed to a Flipkart. When you click on a Google, it is okay. By the way, I can't check double. For that, what you need to do is click on shift key and use multiple options. If you want to uncheck the Snapdeal, yes. If you want to check this one, yes. If you want to select all, yes, we can select all or deselect all. Select all or deselect all, you can select any one. By the way, can I change the style of it? Of course, we have the options. Go here and change the style you want according to your requirement. Click on it, everything will change there. I want in a green style, but hold on, this pivot slicer is showing little bit straight away, but I want to put it in something horizontal or row wise. There is an option for the option. Okay, if you click on outside, there is no option. When you click on this slicer, there is an option. Here we have a column. In the columns, what you can do is, we don't have much features actually, just making it a height, width and everything from here, or else you can do from here itself, right? So what we have is a column in the sense, how many, how many columns you want to see. I said 3. Just say okay, and you'll see all this information is now showing in the form of 3 columns. Amazing. Now this is how it looks like. If you want to customize further, you can make it 2, make it 10, make it 11. Okay, again the same functionality. You can just multiple selection in order to do that. Now this is looks very good, but what if somebody wants to see a quarter wise? Of course I can see here, but I want to have some slicer kind of stuff. This is about the customer. If you want to add further slices, what you can do is go to the insert. Okay, go to the slices and add something called this time let's try to add region, because region plays a very important role. You want to see in the region wise. This region again, it's not in, it's in vertical style, so let's try to make it as a 3 maybe. Okay, it's 31, no 31, it's only 3. We have 3. Now it has become 3 column low level, so that you can customize according to your requirement. Beautiful. Now only Midwest you want to see, only East you want to see. You want to see both regions at same time. At the same time, if you see both regions, only one is activated, that is tab deal is playing very important role there. And if you select Amazon and Middle East here, you can see multiple selection is also possible by using the slices. Slices makes life very easy when you are using the when you are trying to create any report for the business. Try to add this. This is amazing. They can just click on it and try to make the pivot according to the requirement, instead of clicking here and trying to select. And there are chances of miss outs also, right? You have a huge list of customers. If you want to select from there, it's very difficult. Why don't you select from here? That's a theory between beyond this what you call slices. Next one, this works very well with the slices. At the same time, there's a new option available that is called as a timeline in the sense, at a level of month and year, or maybe days, you want to see something. So how it is possible in that case, when you want to check out the information, so click on the timeline information. It will always look for a dates only, of course, because timeline is on from which, between to which date what is happening. This slicer, which is called as a timeliner, when you just expand it, you can see it is showing all the months. Let me click on July, August. What is happening in July and August? Of course, it's showing up. But what if you want to see, let me put one more slicer here. Just I'm copying and pasting, same stuff. Okay, this slicer I want for showing only for years, because this is talking about a months, right? This I want for a years. So what you can do is right click. There is an option called years. Now we have a yes, only I want to see 2018 and 19. And sometimes I want to see 6 months of yearly, you can select like this. And you want to see only March, yes, it is possible. Now let me quickly copy again and paste it back. This time I want to have a different view altogether. So that means I used months and always use years. I want quarters. So this quarters is showing only in quarter 2 and quarter 3, in quarter 1 and quarter 4. What happened, you can see by just moving the slices, and your pivot table works accordingly. That's nicest feature what we have. Helps more or less, especially when you're working with the dashboarding. This is about the slices. Using the timeline feature also makes very life easy actually. So let's try to see if I can create a chart here, which is not the part of this course, but let's see quickly and how this pivot chart also works accordingly. In order to create a chart, as we know, when you need to click on insert and there is not a charts, don't go for the charts, click on the pivot charts. Once you click on the pivot charts, it's going to create a chart for yourself for on this. Based on this, which type of chart you are looking for. Maybe I'm simply keeping it very simple, just taking this chart now for now, and I want to just put it here, no place. Now, if I click on Amazon, this entire pivot chart is changing to Amazon. I want to check only for these months. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. It's just trying to check only for that particular years, months, and this is for only that years, only 2 years, that is 2019 and 18. So the your pivot is working very dynamically. Accordingly, your pivot table is also changing. Let's see, is changed, the pivot is changed, and at the same time your pivot table is also changed. So let me do one more thing here. I just copied this pivot table, I place somewhere is here. Now if I click on this, any of the slices, does this pivot is changing and this is also changing, which is fantastic. That means both the pivot tables are talking to each other, and also your graphs are also working accordingly. So just imagine if you can create a beautiful charts here, instead of giving a lot of data, just put some nice graphs and put slices. This page can be a best dashboard forever, right? So using slices and using charts, that's what you have seen. Charts, you can use all those charts which are available, like 50 charts are there. So depending on the requirement, what are the key performance indicator, we can use all those information. Yes. Now, so far we have seen how to work with table. All the time we are talking about table, but is it possible to create a table from multiple sheets? Yes, that's one important thing which everyone wants to know, how to create a pivot table from multiple sheets. But let's try to take a pause, one step back. Before you create a pivot table from multiple sheets, which I want to show you one more amazing feature, which will help you to save your tons of your time. Yes, tons of time. Is it really? So let's go for one more Excel file before you come to that. There is another sheet, Excel sheet, because I want some big data. This is multiple page, this is a report. So let's go for this one. So this is also some hypothetical information which I've taken here. It's not true facts. Oh. All right. So what I have here is, like, we have a different countries. We have almost how many countries? If I say look at the last cell, we have 196 countries, guys, here. Afghanistan to last country. So why I've taken so many countries? Because I want to show us some magic trick here. So we have region, we have a profit. Actually, this dummy data I've just copied from the Wikipedia, all this country list. It's very tough to write all the country names. I mean, to remember, just I've taken it. Now, so far I was talking about only rows, columns of other options, but I missed out one important option because I want this example to be shown up with this. Now, you can convert always Control T to convert you to a table, which is an amazing one. So it will make a dynamic one. So Control Alt N V T. What I want to do, what I want to perform here. Let's see. I want to put the countries at the columns. Looks all the countries at the columns. I want to put it in the rows. This is how it looks like. I want to put the profit at the values. Okay, very good. Now my boss asked me, can you put Afghanistan into a separate sheet? Can you put Albania into one sheet, Algeria into one sheet? Just imagine. The question is easy, but the answer is very difficult. That means 186 countries, 186 sheets you want to create. Yes, I can do it because I have a lot of patience. I'm a very good employee. What I'll do is, first I will try to do one thing. I'll try to take this country into the filters. This is what I was referring, actually, country into the filters. And let's make the region as here, not here, maybe in the rows. Perfect. Now it looks like a perfect pivot table. Now what my boss question is, can you pivot 186 countries market? Okay, sheet here. Let me make this Afghanistan, copy it, come here, change to Afghanistan. Okay, let me create one more. I'm very good at Excel. What I do is I'll simply go for Albania. Even if you blink your eye, there are chances where you can miss any of the market. Okay, I created two within less than a minute. But what if I want to create 186 markets, uh, pivot tables with a proper name, guys? That's a very important factor here. I want to create with a proper name at the bottom. I want to create the pivot tables. It's easy. If you spend like 2 to 3 4 hours, you can do it. But again, somebody has to check whether you've done correct job or not. So I don't want to do such kind of a job. What I want to do is simply I want to create this as a main table. Let's say main pivot table. This is very, very important. Most of the guys keep doing it manually. Now, this is amazing feature, what you can see, and you are going to do this job in a less than a minute, depending upon your data size. How many markets we have is Afghanistan to some countries. So I want to make the entire pivot to Albania, selected entire information. So in Albania, there's only a West region where we have this profits which we made for the company. So if you want to create this pivot tables like this for 187 countries, it's highly impossible, but I can do it in a less than minute. Let's see the amazing trick, and don't blink your eye because it's a second's job. Let's see it. Now, once you go to this design, go to the analyze part. Don't click on the pivot. We've been using it. Just click on the drop down option. Don't click on that option as well. Click on this drop down. What happens is when you click on the drop down, there is one option coming up, show report filter page. What I mean, let me go back to this. There is a report page filter, what we have here, filter, which is filtering the entire pivot table. So you need to have the one particular column which you want to break it down into number of pages. My requirement, my boss asked me to create 187 country sheets. So obviously I need to put the countries there. If you want to make region wise, let me make a region wise for now. Okay, only 4 sheets will be created, as we know. 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sheets will be created. Let's create a 4 sheets less than a second, less than a second. Okay, then later we'll go for the country so that we can understand. We can see this example twice. Okay, now I'm clicking on this. I'm going to the analyze option, clicking on the pivot table. Go to the option. Don't click on it. It is of no use for me. No, go for this pivot table. Cancel it, please. Yeah, go to pivot table. Go to this. Why this is coming up? Okay, just click on this option and go to the option and click on show report filter page. Once you click on this option, don't click on options by any chance. That's not required for us. That's the option, pivot table options. Click on this one. It will ask you a polite question. Boss, how many columns you had added in the report filter pages? Right now, only region. Once you click on that, don't blink your eye. You are going to see amazing 4 pages will be created within less than a second. That's it. Okay. Now you can see North is created, West is created, South is created, and all the regions are created just like that. Amazing. But can I create for all the markets? Of course. For that, what I need is whenever I'm clicking on Analyze tab and a pivot option, I'm able to see in the show report filter only one region. So the problem is with us. So that means we suppose not to have report filter region. Rather, this time we need to have a country because you want to create country wise. You can have multiple also in the same one. You can have multiple filters. That means country wise, region wise, you want to create. But now I want to create for the, as you have seen for the region, let's try to create for the countries. Imagine 187 markets you want to, that is the countries sheets you want to create the way you created for West, a proper name, proper filter. South, south filter, north, north filter, east, east filter. Amazing. If I need to do it, yes, I can do it. But there are chances where you can do the errors. So let's go to the main table, right click, and go to the analysis part. Go to the option. Don't click on the option. It is of no use for me. Just go to pivot table, click on that option and click on show report filter page. Click on this country. That's it. Hold on your breath and you'll see 187 countries are going to be created. There's no automation running on my system right now. It is going to show you 187 pages, guys. By the time I fill my complete communication on this, you will see all 187 countries are going to be displayed. It's little slow because Zoom is working on the system. So you will see all the pages will be displayed within no time now. That's it. By the time we taken our long breath, it's already over. Afghanistan is ready. Albania, Algeria, we can see all the markets with a proper name, guys. Can you believe it? 187 market sheets are created. You can see from here 187 markets are created, and all the sheets you can see from A to Z markets are already created for you. A proper name filter, proper name. Albania, Albania, we have Algeria, we have Algeria. So I'm not still happy 187 countries, but somebody is asking me, can you create a table? Where is that? My main table. Okay, can you create a month wise? Of course, I can create. For that, what is the trick I need to use is simply, let me take something here, just spending time. Let's say main, as this is a main pivot table. Let me go for the pivot table fields. I want to make this as all for now. Okay, this time I want to go for not regions, a country. Maybe I want to go for, I don't have a month here, by the way. So country or region. So what happens is one more interesting thing here. If you are not interested for 187 markets because your boss is asking for only 3 markets and say, okay, hopefully those sheets are not exist. I need to delete because these sheets are not required because already there, right? So I want to remove that Algeria part and this Angola and this and delete all the pages because I want to see if I can create only selected fields rather than creating all. Where is my main missing? Okay, this is my main sheet. Now what is my intention is, maybe sometimes the requirement is not like all 187 countries only. Can you create only 4 markets? Okay, no problem, select only 3. Again, go to the same option, keep repeating because so that you can remember. Analyze, go to the option, don't click on the options, no use for me. Go to this show filter pan and you can see the country is coming up, only selected fields. That's it, boom, it's over. It's created 4 sheets only, not all 187. That means you have that control on your selected items only, not 187 countries. This is amazing example which you can create pivot tables just like that. No need to wait for hours or days to create all these sheets, only within single sheet. Okay, I'll repeat this example once again because this is very, very important. You may be required to be used again and again this in your daily life. So let me try to show you again what is happening here, what is important and what is not important. Whenever you create a pivot table, all NVT, you need to ensure that you have at least one object, one particular country or region, anything in the columns. Okay, we have something. First of all, first let's try to concentrate on creating a pivot table. Okay, that's just my pivot table is ready. You need to have one particular column name in the filter pan. In this filter, if you have, based on that filter, you can create multiple sheets. That is not only for that one. Generally, when you want to Algeria only want to filter, you can filter it. But here my concept is I don't want, I want a region wise sheet. So what I can do is, now we have only 4 sheets I want to create. Go to the pivot table, click on the options and show filter pane. It will show you what are the regions available. Once you say okay, it will create all the 4 sheets for you. Amazing. Now let's try to see how to create a multiple tables, how to create a pivot table using multiple sheets, because this always happens. You want to create a pivot table using a multiple sheets. It's ideally happens, right? So generally, why we will get this kind of option? We have all right. So we have 3 data sets here. This I can say advanced kind of pivot tables combining from multiple sheets. So first we need to understand the data, guys. The thing is, we have a customer data, we have order data, we have payments data. So what I mean to say is, this is a customer table where we have only customer information. What is his order number? What is a customer name? What is his age? Which state there belongs to? And order date, I have basically which month it is ordered, what is the product they ordered, whether it is a regular type of a product or a premium one. That is what we have in the 4th column. In the payments data, we have which how much sale it happened, for which product, which method in the sense whether they paid the cash or credit card or any other product. Is it existing customer or not? If I want to get information, like for example, let me take Priyanka here. Priyanka is, her age is 63 and age is from VT, and I want to see when she made the purchase from our store. So I need to find out how I can find out. Actually, I need to find Priyanka's order number. Go here, filter it. Okay, she made purchase in the month of March and she purchased bananas, and she's a regular type of product. It is not a premium one. And when she made, and how she made the payment, she made sale, total sale. She made a sale product she purchased is 1163, purchase order she made through, and she's a new customer, not the existing one. So this is how I need to shuffle between the tables in order to create, in order to understand the analysis, or if you want to derive some information. It's not so easy, right? You need to create a pivot table out of these three options, but we can't because because I'm good at with the VLOOKUP. What I can do is I can use the VLOOKUP here, just use this order number and go to this order date, and I can find out what type of product she has brought. Okay, let me say 2 comma 0, then say okay. Okay, she brought something in the March. Okay, what about how she paid? Okay, what she brought, like apples, and what is the payment she has done? uh, is it a regular or a premium one? Regular. Okay, this is how I'm able to do with the VLOOKUP. But you need to notice one. When I'm creating a VLOOKUP, what is the source for me? I have something called order number, which is a unique, order date, which I have a common column, payments data, I have a column. So this is a clue for us in order to create a pivot table from multiple sheets. That's a clue. That means you need to have a relationship between all the Excel sheets so that you can create a pivot table. So let's see how to create this one quickly and very fast and amazing exercise which you're going to. So first thing is I want to create Control T, very quick. I want to give a proper name to that instead of saying, let's say customer. My table name is customer now. It's not simply table one. Now you can see it's a customer table. Order date. Now let's say Control T, create a quickly a name for it. Order. Perfect. Now go for the payments data. Payments data, let's say Control T. Now here I want to say payments. Okay, we have three different tables now. By sitting at any of the sheet, if you want to go to any table, you can simply go for that customer. I can simply straight away go to this table. So I have showing previous data is existing. Let me go for one quick check. This is not supposed to be here. Previous one is reflecting. Anyhow, so we have three tables here, that is customer data, order data, and payments data. We have three different tables. Now it will be very easy for me to create the pivot tables. Now, if the same traditional method I'm using, that is Control NVT, that is creating a pivot table. Okay, I got the pivot table. But again, you need to take a pause here. Based on customer data, you're creating a pivot table. How you're expecting data to should also flow from order date and payment date? It's not possible, right? So let me click on this and see what's happening here. We have order date, this, and we have all the columns required here. But let me change this format to a normal one so that I can see. Okay. I can see only 4 columns. I don't see other columns. So that means I'm not doing right. Just close it. I don't want you to be in hurry creating pivot tables just like the way you create. There is a trick which you need to follow here. Alt NV and say OK. Before saying OK, we need to be very conscious. We need to add this entire structure to add this to a data model. Okay, we are creating a data model now. That means creating all these three tables into one and creating a relationship between them so that they can marry to each other, that they can talk to each other. Yes, you need to click the option which is we haven't used so far, that is choose whether you want to analyze multiple tables. Yes, once you say okay, now you will see no change. It will just like any other pivot table, it will create a normal sheet for you. It's taking time. Yes, it's created. No, again, I end up with the same columns, but hold on. Look at this all option. You'll see all the tables are coming up now. Now, in the customer table, I want the order number. I want the customer name. From the second table, I want which month, maybe I want to put it in the columns. It's taking time. All right, January, Feb, March. I want to know how much sales has happened. Let's go for sale. Yeah. I failed completely. This is not expected because it's showing for every customer, for every row, a same number. Why? Because all three sheets are not talking to each other, guys. These are not really talking to each other. Whenever you create a pivot table, what you need to understand is first understand the data. We know Nilima has February 13,413 what you're getting. Okay, let's assume that is the right number. What about the next Parthiva, Priyanka? All these are not matching. They are completely behaving. The numbers are not behaving completely. Rather, it's showing only as one particular number, which is completely wrong. The reason is they are not talking to each other. If you want them to talk to each other, we have a proper names for the tables, which is good. Now what you want to do is you want to create the relationship between these two options, these three tables. Three, is it only three, or maybe some 10 tables? Doesn't matter how many tables you have. It's not really not a problem how many tables you have. What matters is whether you have a proper table names or not, because we need to have a table names here. Okay, so that means I failed to create the pivot table. So let me close this now. All right, now we have a three pivot tables here, three tables. Now what you need to know is, watch it carefully, we need to create a relationship. Now, how do I create a relationship? Do I have that option anywhere somewhere to create this so-called relationship? This is normal table, and I'm not finding anywhere to create that kind of a relationship here. Okay, so what you do is first create called Alt NV, add to this to a data model. Once you add this and say okay, what will happen is it will try to show you same stuff like it's going to show you. But if you check it very carefully, when you click on this option, okay, right click somewhere else, no options available. When you click on this pivot table again, we have pivot table 2020, 220. That means we have created that many times. Every time when you create a pivot table, it will show its unique number. So 1 2 3, now we reach to 220. Great. Now now what you need to do is once you click on this, there is an option called a relationship. Wow. So here I can create the relationship between these three tables. And what is your common field which you're going to create a relationship? That is what I need to understand. If you have that understanding, your job is done. So that means all these three tables, if you take as one table as your parent table and rest all child tables, what you can do is now click on the new. You have already seen, if you don't have the relation, what will happen? It will show all the numbers same, which is wrong. Now it is trying to create a relationship between the master table and the chandler table. Okay, now what is your master table? How do I know it? Whatever the first table or anything you can take as a master table, for that not matter. But in relational database management system like SQL Server, MySQL, some relation there, let's not get into that. But there is something called primary key and foreign key. Let's not make that complicated also. Let's take this first one as a parent table. Second one is child table. The first parent table I would like to pick up is, why I'm getting table one, table two. Where is my, something wrong is just hold on. Why table one and table is showing up here? Okay, this is ordered table. So go to formula, change it. This is showing as table 2. I can still edit it as orders new, something just like that. And what is the other name which is trying to show as table 3, which is nothing but payments. It has, the previous one is still trying to cover, that is table 3. Let me just edit it for now. That is payments table. Let's give big one. That's it. So we have all these names ready. What happened? All right, so we have proper table names now. It was little confusing because we have showing multiple tables, not sure. So once I create Alt and V and say okay, don't say okay, click on this, add this data, say okay. Once you say okay, there's a default style which is going to be created, but this is not the end, guys. You need to click on this all when you, so that you can see all the tables. But again, still there's same problem. Table is showing as table. Okay, let's understand that table 2 as your orders date, table 3 as payments data. Now what we want to do is we want to build a relationship. When you want to build a relationship, I need to have a parent table and the child table. Here the parent table is the parent payments. So that's why this is a confusion what will come arise when you are trying to create relationships or pivot table if you don't have a proper names. The first one is showing customer, but the second is confusing. Second is order date, third one is payments data. Let me click on payments data, and here we need to tell which is a common column for you. My column is order number. In the second one, what you want to take is customer data. You are trying to bring the relationship between customer and payments, and then say okay. But as such, you will not see any difference. It's just telling you there is a relation is built. Now let's click on the new again. Why you're creating again new? Because they have another sheet. You need to click create as many as possible when you have, I mean, as many in the sense like three, and you need to create two relations between these three tables. Now, I need to, I already created a relation between three and customer. Now it's a time to create for two. And the common column which I have is order number. And for the third one, as we have taken customer and payments, this time we are taking what? Table two, and we can take the customer information for that matter. So the common column, we need to have the common column in order to create the relationship. Otherwise, they will not talk to each other. Once you say okay, you will not see again any change as per the tables are concerned. They look same, but amazing. When you click on this, order number is created. Okay, we have the customer name. Okay, we have age not equal. Let's go for a status. Either you are, oh, status is really big, so let's go for at the filter, no problem. Now, no states, let's try to make it a simple pivot table so that we can see whether they're talking to each other or not. So for that, I need the sale happened in the values. Amazing. Now they are talking to each other, guys. They are talking to each other. Now Nilima has made 1160. Is it correct? Let me go to the customer data and look at this Nilima. How I'm going to identify Nilima? That is with a unique number. That is customer data. We have 1000. Let's go to 1000 in the order date. 1000. She purchased apples, a regular type, in the month of March. That's fine. Let's go for a payments data and see what is she has done. She had made a 1106 sale. That is that much of worth of product she purchased, and she made an electronic payment, maybe a credit card, and she's an existing customer. But that my pivot table is telling yes. This is how you can create a build a relationship between multiple tables or 1000 tables so easy, and you can create the relationship, and you can create a write a pivot table for your requirement. So it's not always creating one pivot table for from one sheet. No, it is, you can create as many as you want. One pivot table which is talking all this. Now you can see any one particular selected, the selection also can be changed, only orange how many people it is. Now you can do the regular pivoting on your table, because now the table is linked up with all these three tables. Amazing. All right, so I'll try to finish all this whatever topics told here as an index, so that for your information you can just refer. All right, that's all for today regarding the pivot tables, where you have seen from basic to advanced, creating from multiple sheets, also creating the slices, creating the pivot charts. You have seen how to use the show value as. All right, and that's it. Let's